In today's lecture, we will try to learn rate analysis of RCG concrete 1 to 4. So, if we have a total quantity of 1 to 4 concrete is 100 cubic meter, how do we calculate the total cost and determine the rate per cubic meter and per cubic feet? First of all, we will calculate material quantity for 1 cubic meter concrete. First of all, cement. Total quantity of cement required is equal to quantity of concrete multiplied by dry volume factor multiplied by cement ratio and divided by sum of ratio. So quantity of concrete is 1, dry volume factor is 1.54, cement ratio is 1 divided by 1 plus 2 plus 4 is equal to 7, sum of ratio. It's equal to 0.22 cubic meters. Cement quantity in bags. For that, you need to multiply quantity in cubic meter to density of cement and then divided by weight of one cement bag. So quantity in cubic meter is 0.22 multiplied by density of cement 440 kg per meter cube divided by 50 kg. So 6.336 bag required for 1 cubic meter concrete ratio 1 to 4. Then we need to calculate fine aggregate sand. For sand, the formula is quantity of concrete multiplied by dry volume factor multiplied by sand ratio divided by sum of ratio. So sand ratio is 2, dry volume factor is 1.54, 1 divided by 7. So 0.44 cubic meter sand is required for 1 cubic meter concrete. Same as for crush and coarse aggregate. So for crush, quantity of concrete multiplied by dry volume factor multiplied by crush ratio divided by sum of ratio. So it is the ratio of crush is 4 out of 7. So quantity of crush required for 1 cubic meter is 0.88 cubic meter. Then we need to calculate water. For water, we need water cement ratio. So water cement ratio multiplied by cement quantity, you will find water quantity in kgs. So we will take 0.6 as the water cement ratio. You can take 0.5 or 0.7 depending on the requirement. Multiply by 6.336 and for kgs multiply by 50. So 190 kg or you can say 190 liters one water required for 1 cubic meter concrete. For after completing material requirement, we need to calculate manpower requirement. For computing actual manpower requirement, we need actual productivity rate of manpower. And you know, productivity rate vary by country as organization. So we will take the standard manpower norms. So for 1 cubic meter, skilled mason 1.2 hours required and skilled labor 1.2 hours required. Mixer operator if we used mixer machine. So zero point 0.4 hours, vibrator operator 0.4 hours, and waterman for curing is 0.2 hours. Yes, it is for a standard norms, but requirement of manpower will be changed with the nature of work. For example, column need more manpower than foundation, as well as maybe say beams or slabs. For machinery, we also need productivity rates and productive machinery also vary by country and well as organization and nature of work. So we will take standard machinery requirements. So for 1 cubic meter batching plant 0.06 hour of batching plant required, concrete mixer 0.03 hours and concrete pump of 0.05 hours required. Machinery requirement also change with the nature of works. Maybe column treating take more manpower than foundation concrete. So after finding all the requirements of machinery, manpower, and material, we will summarize all these details. So cement bag, sand, crush, water, mason, labor, vibrator operator, waterman, Batching plant transformation concrete pumps, that is the units and that is the quantity and that is the rate. Quantity multiplied by rate is amount. So that's the amount required for we need 101.376 real per for cement bag. So total amount of material manpower and machinery for 1 cubic meter concrete is 240.45 reals. So now we need to add overhead, contingency, profit, and VAT to direct cost. First of all, as we compute direct cost of one cubic meter is 240.45. So what is overhead cost? So we can take 8 to 12% of overhead cost depending upon the organization. So we take 10% for a standard. So to 24.045 for overhead in contingency depending upon the nature of the project. Maybe some projects have a higher contingency and some have a lower. You can take up to 3% as well as up to 8 to 10%. So we will take 5% for the standard project, for the standard normal project. So for 5%, 12.00022 riyal for contingency for 1 cubic meter concrete. So total cost is now 240 plus 24 plus 12, 276.52. Then we add profit margin. Maybe the profit margin varies from 10% to 20%. So we will take 15% for profit margin. Profit margin 15% on all the cost, direct cost plus overhead plus contingency. So 15% on 276 is 41.48 reals. So now total amount is 318 real. So on all of these, we need to add value added tax of 15%, which is 56.12. So now total amount after adding all the direct cost, indirect cost, profit margin and taxes, the amount for 1 cubic meter concrete is 374.12 real. So for 100 cubic meter concrete, just multiply per cubic meter rate to 100. So we will find 37412 real per 100 cubic meter concrete. So for 1 cubic feet concrete rate, you need to divide 374.12 divided by 35.32. So 10.59 real per cubic feet for 1 cubic feet concrete.